What's up, everyone? Moto Monday. I'm alive. A little late on this podcast because I caught something. I don't know if it was a cold, flu, or one of the nasty Rona something somethings, and I haven't really had a voice. I got tested. I've had mixed results. I don't know, but didn't really have a voice, and it's probably going to be a little scratchy for this one. But I've tried recording this now 4 times. I don't care if it's scratchy. This one's going through. So, Happy New Year, everyone. 2022. Hope it's better than 2021 because 2021 was a little bit of a letdown, to say the least. But sending out good vibes into the universe, I think we're going to have a good year. We're going to start off Moto Monday for 2022. We're talking about something that popped up in the news. We've had a couple weeks to kind of process and think about it and examine it, look at all the pictures. The Stark Varg, the Varg, which what does that mean? Wolf? I think it's wolf. Yeah, the Stark Varg, an electric motorcycle that is supposed to basically smash on the old Alta. I've seen a ton of opinions on it, literally everything on it. I just hope the new Varg, when it comes out, which is like almost a year away, I hope it's not the next Cannondale. For anyone who's been around long enough and remembers the Cannondale was really cool. And when it popped up, everyone was like, oh my gosh, they have all these new things. It had perimeter frame, it had weird exhaust. They tried to fix all the problems at once. And unfortunately, it didn't pan out. The Cannondale was a failure, and the company basically went bankrupt, and they're now gone, at least from the motorcycle scene. Gone. They lost stupid amount of money. I believe they sold all the parts to, who was it? Was it AT? I believe it was ATK. Yeah. So ATK probably has a few of the machines, some frames laying around and stuff, but Cannondale's push into the moto market didn't really pan out. I think it was because they got too excited and they tried to change too many things at once, and it didn't work. I hope the Stark Varg is not the same because honestly, I would buy one. A lot of people are online and saying, "Oh, it's electric. Electric is there's no soul to it. There's no sound. It's not a real motorcycle." I'm sorry. Energy is energy, and it doesn't matter what powers your bike. It's still a bike. Who cares what powers it? If it's diesel, petrol, two-stroke, four-stroke, electric, coal, who cares? Personally, I think all you guys just hate change. Everyone, oh man, some of these people online, I swear, is like you're stuck in high school. You had about a 5 year span where you like change, and it was from when you were 15 to 20. After that, you hate anything that is new outside of that. You listen to the same music from when you were 15 to 20. You listen to the, I'm sorry, not listen. You watch the same kind of shows. You wear the same kind of clothes, same kind of haircut. You don't change. At 15 to 20 range, so where half the people on the internet, you're stuck in that, and you're 45 years old, still having a mullet, and still riding a 93 YZ125, which is cool. That's cool. All right, whatever. But don't hate on change just because you're stuck in the Stone Ages. I'm down for electric, and it's just because if they offer a bike that is better performing than a gas bike, cool. If not, cool. I'll stick with my gas bike. Oh, I'll probably have both. I don't care what propels the two wheels forward. I just like riding the things with two wheels. So, but anyways, back to Cannondale and Varg. So the Varg, here's the thing. First off, awesome to see Josh Hill in there. Josh Hill, one of the pioneers of going big on an electric bike, and local boy, grew up just a few miles down the road from me. La Center, Washington. Rad dude, knows how to throw down. That was really awesome to see him involved. That was super smart of Stark to get Josh Hill involved. Uh, by the way, Stark, did we really name it after Tony Stark? Did we really name the company after Tony Stark? That's kind of funny. So, anyways, cool to see him in there. But all the things that they're throwing at us in these videos, like the new battery, the funky finned battery thing, the price tag, which I'm a big fan of. It's not 11,900. That's euro. Which works out to 13 something like 13.5. US dollars. 13.5 is not bad for a bike if it really performs like what they said it would perform like. I mean, 80 horsepower max. Isn't that worth a couple extra grand over the Kawasaki? What is the Kawasaki SR model? Like 11.5, 12, something like that. So just a little bit more and you get a bike that will destroy it. If, if it will. So here's the thing. They reinvented the chain adjusters, which I like the idea. Looks good. Okay. But will they work? So they reinvented the chain adjusters for a quick adjust. They have a fancy pants foot peg system that's apparently stronger than titanium. I don't know if I believe you guys, but if it is, that's cool. And then their own spring system that's different than any other peg system on the market. Once again, if so, cool. Maybe a little hard to get aftermarket, but they're probably trying to make something where you would never need aftermarket. Okay. Um, the whole system is really interesting. I don't know if you guys were looking at it, but like the powertrain is water cooled. It's an automatic, so that doesn't shift. But then the battery is air cooled. Okay, all right, interesting. Your bike comes with a phone. That's also interesting. Cool, I guess, but your bar pad has a phone. What if you smack your face into the phone and you break the glass out under your nose? I don't know how I feel about that. Apparently, the whole bike is waterproof. That is kind of cool. I don't plan on riding my bike in a lake, but you can go scuba riding. They claim it will go underwater and you can scuba ride. The first person to YouTube that is going to make millions. And yeah, just all the things that they try to reinvent. I do like the little gold logo on the where the gas tank would be. That's fancy. It's apparently real gold. That's cool. That's fancy. But they got all these new things, and I'm a little concerned that they're trying too many things at once. And what if it doesn't work out just like with Cannondale? We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure we're going to learn a lot more all throughout 2022 until they finally release the bike. Overall, though, I'm interested. I'm interested. I'd ride one. I don't care what propels the bike. I just want a cool bike. And the the styling on it is a little interesting. I think I would give it a 7 out of 10. It's cool, but it's a little bit of a let's knock off KTM, make it kind of our own and some swoopies. I think they could have done a lot better on the styling of the plastic, and I'm saying this as a graphics guy, but they could have done maybe slightly better on the styling. It's even a 7. I would give it, you know what? We're going to take this down. We're going to take it down. We're going to 6.5. I give it 6.5. I think they could have done a lot better on the styling of it. It's okay. It is modern, but I think they could have made it more aggressive. And if you're going to make a press release and say your bike can max out at 80 horsepower, make that thing. I mean, and you named it after the wolf. Yeah, I would make that thing look aggressive. So that's my thoughts on that. Let's move on to something a little more current. Supercross. The first Supercross of the year happening this weekend. Gonna be a little interesting. I'm super curious to see who's gonna come out on top because this is not a normal Supercross opener. The current times, I think, is affecting some of our riders and the teams and the finances, just like everybody else. And so I'm really curious who's been putting in the work, who's been struggling, and who's going to be healthy because we got a ton of people with injuries. Justin Hill just got an injury and won't be lining up. Then we had, well, obviously AC had his injury. I believe it was a foot injury. And then, Justin Cooper, no, it was Justin Cooper had the foot injury. But yeah, I'm really curious to see who's really on their A game and who's going to be thrown off a little bit. I feel like Eli Tomac is going to be a front runner. He's a guy who just basically just I feel like he has blinders on. He doesn't go outside of what he wants to do much. It just if he wants to go race and win, he focuses, he trains, and he doesn't let other things affect him, which could really come in handy come a weird COVID-y time Supercross season. So I feel like he could be a really strong presence in this year's Supercross season. Cooper Webb, um, we'll see. Justin Barcia, he's known for coming out swinging. I don't know though. I don't know if I really got him on this. He's changed a lot of things, and I feel like Eli Tomac is the guy who's got the focus. Him and Roxon, they just got this ability to just bite down, just get gritty, train, ride. They want it. They don't always have those crazy flashes of brilliance, but they can put in the work. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm pretty interested to see. I have a feeling no matter who wins and no matter what happens, it's going to be unexpected. So expect the unexpected. That's my official, non-official dude prediction for A1. But I'm stoked. I can't wait to see this. I'm stoked to see how it'll go down. I got a feeling we're going to see something different. We're going to see something we weren't prepared for. Whether that's Eli Tomac coming out on the Yamaha and smashing everybody, or maybe we'll see someone totally unexpected rise to the occasion and take the W. I don't know. We'll see. But I did get a chance to talk to one of our local Supercross boys, which we're going to do a phone call here in just a moment, to a guy that I love riding with, even though I can't keep up. And I love watching ride, a guy who rides probably more than anybody else in the Northwest. Literally rain, shine, snow, sleet, doesn't matter. Carson Brown, number 910. He likes riding dirt bikes. So, going to make a little phone call to him and see what's going on. Carson Brown, how's it going, man?
It's been going good, man. Just getting ready for the upcoming season and having some fun with it.
So, what are you doing this upcoming season? Are you racing Supercross?
Yeah, we're planning on hitting all the West Coast rounds of Supercross. We're building a YZ250F right now to hit most of the rounds, and then at a couple of the rounds, we're planning on racing the YZ125. So that's definitely going to be changing it up, and we're hoping to hopefully put it in a main on one of those. It's going to be telltale, after we do it once, but it's going to be fun either way, and it's going to sound amazing.
Hold up. You're going to try to get into the main event at Supercross on a YZ125.
That's the goal if everything goes exactly to plan. That's going to be a hard goal, but I feel like it's doable. And, even getting a 125 to the Supercross with all the homologation process and all that is like a win in itself.
Yeah, well, and they have a whole new model and everything this year, the 2022. So, wow, okay. Well, dude, if you could pull that off, that would be pretty epic.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a lot of work. And like you said, it's an all new model. So all the motor stuff, all that, you can't just go and get all that stuff. So Mitch has been working hard to try and get, even gaskets to put the motor together since it's all new. And it's all going to be really close to get it all done and finalized before the West Coast Series starts.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine that'd be a bit of a process, whole new model and everything. But dude, that would be epic if you could pull it off. A lot of people saw you race Washougal this year, and you were on a 252 stroke in the 450 class, and that was what'd you end up placing? I know you only got the what was it, the first moto? What'd you end up placing? Because dude, you were running with some fast boys out there on a two stroke.
Yeah, if I can remember right, it was 18th. The week before the Washougal National, I ended up hurt my shoulder pretty good, so I didn't even know if I was going to be able to race it in general. And we kind of grounded out through practice, and I was like, man, we put in all this work. Everybody's here. We got to at least try and get a moto in, even if I don't finish it. And we ground out through the first moto, but that's all I had with my shoulder. But I'm glad that we at least got a moto in, and I think I ended up 18th in that first moto. So I was pretty stoked to even finish that one.
Yeah, so you went in, we talked before the race, and you went in pretty hurt, not even knowing if you could ride. You're out there, I believe the only two-stroke that showed up, and you put in the top 20 in the 450 class.
Yeah, and that was I was feeling really good leading up to all that, and I think for the situation I was in, it went as well as it could, to be completely honest. I mean, it was really cool. Leading up to that, we called it the Washougal National Two-Stroke Fan Bike, that TC250 two-stroke I was on, and everybody was helping sponsor that thing from around the Northwest and around everywhere. So it was a really cool effort that we had going, and got all the fans involved, and everybody was stoked with it. It's I really liked getting the whole fan aspect a part of the racing as much as I could, especially with the two-stroke.
So why is it you ride like all these bikes? Like your Instagram, I swear every other post is a different bike. You're on an XR100, you're on a KDX 220, you're on a different two-stroke CR500. Do you just, I mean, is this kind of a thing you've developed? I just like riding whatever and you kind of prove it, or do you, I mean, how'd this come about? Because that's kind of what you're known for, is riding anything, anywhere, any day.
Yeah, basically my whole family, we're just motorcycle fanatics. We like anything, any size of bike, and it doesn't matter if it's a Z50 or CR500. I'm having just as much fun on it. And another aspect that we like of it is just working on the bikes and building them and doing restorations and all that. So honestly, people started seeing that, and they were just dropping bikes off here pretty much so that we could, ride them and borrow them to do videos and do restos, because they know that if they bring us a bike that pretty much somebody else would throw in a dumpster, we'll take the time to rebuild it and give it some love, because we just love those things. So it's been a fun process, not just riding them, but working on them too. And, it's really gotten us pretty far on social media, which is really cool, because, I mean, it doesn't matter if the camera is on or off. We're doing that stuff anyway, so we might as well document it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, and it keeps it entertaining, and you've built up a pretty big fan base. I think just based off of that is you never know what you're going to be riding, and you're going out there and you're just absolutely hucking stuff, and you're riding in the rain, the sun, there's snow clips. It's pretty fun to follow. So you've built up a pretty good following off of just riding random bikes, as opposed to you actually being a supercross racer, honestly. I mean, if you did just like photos of you next to your bike and then race supercross, I don't think you'd have near the following that you got now.
Yeah, it's almost sad, because nobody even knows that we put in an effort to race supercross, or all the work behind the scenes that takes to race supercross that we're putting in. So, like you said, not everybody's a racer and they can't relate to going and doing the supercross. Whereas if I ride an XR100 in the yard, everybody can relate to that. Everybody loves XR100s and everything. But if you're riding a built big bike and doing racing and all that, nobody cares, and that's not fun for most people. So I understand why that doesn't get a big following. And we're having way more fun on the pit bikes and trail bikes and up in the woods and everything anyways. So I think it's worked out really well.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right. There's the fun and relatable part. A lot of, I'm not going to name names, but there's a lot of supercross riders who are very talented, cool guys, but it's hard to really relate to what they're doing, and it doesn't hold your interest. It's just like, okay, I train, I have a stopwatch guy, I eat good, and I go race supercross. And like, okay, that's cool, but it's not as relatable as just going out and having a good time on, like your KDX, which I love the KDX videos, by the way. Having fun on a KDX, I think that's more relatable. And it's a lot of these supercross guys, in none of their pictures do they ever look like they're really having that good of a time. They just got a straight face and they're standing there being professional, They're not having fun. It doesn't look like they're having fun anyways.
Yeah, I mean, and unfortunately, in the professional racing side of things, I mean, it can be really fun at times. It's just, it's really highs and really lows. I mean, you go from racing a supercross to you're hurt, or you can't make the next round due to money, or whatever the case is. And that's not fun for a lot of guys. It's unfortunately, you see a lot of fast amateurs that go into the pro ranks with really high expectations, and then it takes them in and spits them out a few years later, and because it just takes all the fun out of it for them. And for some guys, that really puts the fire behind them, and they make it so that they want to succeed and all that, due to how dangerous it is and everything. They want to get in, get her done, and get out. But I mean, there's only a certain percent that can go in and make enough money to make a career out of it. It's really rare. It's only, a tiny percentage. But for a guy like me, I'm going to have fun the whole way through and ride some XR100s along the way.
And I think a lot of people appreciate that. And that is why you've built up a pretty good fan base. And I think you're very relatable, and you keep the sport fun. And as someone who's worked in sport a long time, I can see when it just quits being fun. So we ride dirt bikes because they're supposed to be fun, right? So I like people who go out there and they look like they're actually having a good time riding their dirt bike. And I believe there's a lot of other people who think the exact same way.
Yeah, and I mean, it's been really cool at the track lately because the dirt bike industry seems to be doing really well. It seems like there's been getting really good turnout to all the races, and even just locally for practices, I'm seeing a lot of new people there. And I really like seeing that because the motorcycle industry really needed to get that newer, younger generation, out there buying bikes. And it's cool because they're not out there on a brand new 450 or anything. These guys are all getting Craigslist bikes, and having fun, because that's how it should be. They're getting their two-stroke or whatever it is, and they're firing them up and going to the track and having fun with their buddies, and that's really cool to see right now. Which it's been a while in there where it wasn't looking good, but I'm happy to see it coming back around.
Dude, I fully agree. So let's switch over though back to Supercross. I saw you switch brands. I believe you're on a blue bike now?
Yep. We're on the blue bike. Since we're planning on doing the whole two-stroke thing, if you know me, I like aluminum frames, and Yamaha is the only Japanese company who is making a two-stroke still. So it only made sense that I'd ride their four-strokes also if I'm going to ride their two-strokes, just so that, it's the same brand, parts switch over, all that fun stuff. And Dirt Bike Magazine's been helping me get a 125 and parts and all that leading into Supercross stuff, because they're really stoked to help push this new YZ 125. So I've been loving the Yami so far. They're so aggressive with that, with the intake being at the top of the motor. And, honestly, I think it's just a really solid bike. It's been out a while. It's easy to get parts for, and it's kind of a shorter bike, which is really nice for somebody like me who's used to riding pit bikes.
So you like the aluminum frame over the steel frame?
Yeah, correct. I with my really aggressive style, I'm always bouncing into stuff and deflecting off everything, and it seemed like with the steel frame, it's really good in some situations. When the track is really rough and everything, it's soaking it up. But for me, I like to run into stuff. So the aluminum frame just it doesn't flex around and deflect. It just straight hits it and you can keep going, And the other thing I really struggled with the steel frame was the inconsistency of it as you got hours on it. It seemed like, you'd have a bike with 5 hours on it and a bike with 20 hours on it and a bike with 40 hours on it. And each bike, even though they're the exact same, felt like completely different bikes due to how much time was on the frames. And so during suspension testing, setup, all that, I really struggled because you set it up on one bike, put it on the other, it felt different because of how much the frame was flexing. So with the aluminum frames, it's a lot more consistent. There's still some frame breaking in and all of that, but not nearly as drastic as it would be with a steel frame.
That is super interesting. I don't know if I've ever heard that. I mean, it would make sense, but I don't know if I've heard that. But I mean, with you explaining it, and yeah, I guess that would make total sense because steel, as we all know, the steel frames they have some flex to them, which I personally like them. I kind of like that. I also, I mean, I'll ride anything, but I lean towards the steel, but it would make sense, I guess. Yeah, like over time, it would be a little different. I'm probably just not fast enough to feel it.
Yeah,
But
for 90% of people, I feel like the steel frame is better, just because it has some more forgiveness and all that, and they seem to be, um, easier to access stuff on the bike when you're working on it, just because the tubes are so much smaller. Um, but just for a guy like me, I kind of grew up riding aluminum frame, so it just feels like home to me.
well, your family is also known to be like the forefathers of bringing perimeter aluminum frames to the public. So, yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're on a Yamaha, you're going to race Supercross, and you said West Coast, correct?
Yeah, West Coast is the plan. We're gonna head down to California here shortly to get some more testing in. Twisted is building a motor for the 250F, and then Enzo is doing the suspension. So we're gonna go down there and get all that stuff dialed, make sure that we get our testing time in before A1 fires up, because that one A1's always crazy, and it comes right around the corner a lot quicker than we think it does, because it seems like, the whole winter, we're like, oh, it's so far out there, it's so far out there. And then it just, in a blink of an eye, it's here. And it's been a little tricky getting parts, like I said, just because of COVID and all that. All the companies are so behind with the shipping stuff. And that's been a little tricky, but it's all kind of worked out now. So I think we're going to be fully prepared going into this thing.
Right on. So, after the Supercross series, let's say it goes well, you stay healthy, moving into 2022. Do you have anything really on your radar that you want to do? Any plans?
I'd like to hit the West Coast Nationals. I mean, absolutely. I'm a racer at heart, and I'd love to get out there and honestly just get the experience and get gnarly doing some nationals. But at the same time, we're also planning on doing the fun races like the 125 Dream Race. We're planning on hitting the two-stroke world championship, and just some cool races like that along the way. So that's what the fans always like and sponsors always like. So I'm down for anything that has to do with dirt bikes. I'm there.
Maybe a couple pit bike races along the way, maybe?
Absolutely, you know it.
All right. Cool. Well, hey, dude, I appreciate the time, and I hope everything's going well going into the Supercross season. I can imagine the first few rounds are going to be gnarly. I've been talking to a few other guys. Everyone's getting ready, and yeah, like you said, Anaheim's always crazy. But, dude, I wish you the best. Before I let you go, though, you want to drop any shout outs or how people can follow you on social media?
Yeah, I want to thank DVR Motorsports. Obviously, everybody at that whole building is really behind my effort, and I really appreciate it. Steel Core, he's my buddy Billy Slusser. He's making this whole next season happen, along with Parts Builders and Coreless Resources, McCormick Excavating. Motorsport's been a huge help with all of our bike builds. Like you said, with the restorations and all that, Motorsport's really been coming through, and obviously Fly, WPS, Claire's really been here helping, doing all the videos that you guys see. So it's been cool. You guys can see it on Instagram, Carson Brown _910, and TikTok, all that fun stuff. It should all be the same username. So yeah, check it out.
Right on. Carson Brown, thank you very much, sir. I hope you have a good one, and maybe one of these days I'll see you on a pit bike in person.
All right. Sounds great. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, I will see you, man.
Thanks.
And there you have it, folks. Moto Monday, Carson Brown, Supercross, Stark Varg. I don't know if I'll ever get used to that name, Varg. The wolf bike. But I'll still probably own one. It's just kind of a weird name. That'll be the wrap for Moto Monday. Honestly, my voice is still going out, and I can't go too long without popping some cough drops, which is really dumb and it's really annoying. But Moto Monday, here you go. We're going to try to do another one for next Monday. I got a few little surprise guests we're going to do some call-ins to. Hope you guys are having a good one. Don't forget 110 Clothing. Check it out. Hold it wide open. This is one of our newer shirts. You can get this at one10clothing.com. 110. Check us out on Instagram. I'm going to bring TikTok back, even though I kind of hate TikTok, but whatever. 110 TikTok will be back. What do we got? We got a Facebook page. Yeah, all the normal things. YouTube, of course, the YouTube. Check it out. 110 Clothing. We'll be having some deals here coming in February for some new clothing drops, and we also support few of the local privateers. If you guys want to get some gear for some of our Northwest riders and help support them, we give a good chunk of the money right back to them to help them in their racing career. Just saying, you want to support them and get some fresh clothes, 110clothing.com. Thank you for watching or listening. You guys have a good one. Enjoy Supercross. I'll be back at you next Monday.